All right, so fast, a lot of protection, and a ton of fun on the trails and running. The Shamma Warrior Maximus is definitely becoming one of my favorite running sandals. But with the whole point of running sandals to be as minimal as possible, is there even a point to be wearing a 9 millimeter thick sandal? I hope to help answer some of these questions and more, so stick around and find out. Hello, my name is Nick. I am into minimal running, barefoot running, sandal running, or Huarache style sandal running. And this is the Shamma Warrior Maximus. A little bit about the specs on this. We have a Vibram New Flex outsole that's pretty grippy on a lot of conditions. The footbed is Shamma's Ultra Grip footbed that works great in dry and wet conditions. Locking your foot down on top is Shamma's Elite Lacing System, or by the time this is coming out, they have the Elite Lacing System 2.0, which is the same fit, but just some different modifications in some of the materials or the stitching. I'll try and add it to this video. All this, my men's size 10 comes in at 10.3 ounces or 293 grams, so pretty lightweight. I've been having a lot of fun running in these sandals, and they have definitely quickly become one of my favorites. So let's get into the components a little more in depth here. This Vibram New Flex outsole, it's 9 millimeters thick, and originally I fell into the trap when looking into the sandal running that less is more. The whole point is to get as thin as possible, the thinnest stack height. But what I found running in these is that I actually enjoyed having that extra stack height. A good chunk of my run, a good 2 sections are pretty rocky. They're near roads. There's a lot of gravel. It's just uncomfortable. I've been able to run in my regular Warriors, but running in these is a lot more comfortable. I find that over more terrain that I just enjoy these compared to the regular Warriors. I still get a lot of ground feel. I can tell all the rocks, pebbles, branches, but it's just a little bit dampened. A good analogy would be that if you have bare hands and you're not wearing anything that's like barefoot, and then the regular Warriors are like a thin knit winter glove, and then these are just a little bit thicker than that. So like two little winter knit gloves. They have been very grippy on a lot of conditions. So here in West Michigan, it's been pretty wet. So on pavement, grass, mulch, they've performed really well. There was one run I did that was very muddy, which is why these are so dirty right now, that I was slipping, but it was pretty deep mud. So I don't knock these for that at all. Most of my running is on pavement, and this outsole material so far with the zigzags has been my favorite. I think it's very comfortable. It's not squishy, but it definitely provides a little bit of comfort on really hard surfaces. Going on top, so the footbed is Shamma's Ultra Grip here. There's 2 options, the Ultra Grip, which is this rubber kind of material, and then they have a leather footbed. I went with the Ultra Grip just because it's been so wet here in West Michigan, and I want to wear these in as many conditions as possible, and it performs the best of the 2. It's definitely grippy. There is a little bit of a break-in period adjusting your feet to this, but once you're adjusted, and once I've adjusted, I haven't had any issues. It performs really well. On the run I did like a week ago that was really wet and muddy, these held up great. The mud almost felt like with each step, once it was under there, it would push out of the way. And I guess that's a benefit of this Ultra Grip footbed. It doesn't seem to absorb water or muck and grime. So even on those wet conditions, it didn't feel waterlogged. It didn't feel like with each step I was squishing out a bunch of water. So they stayed pretty lightweight throughout that run. Okay. Locking all of this down is Shamma's elite lacing system. This is actually their power strap, so forget that part. But this whole bit is the elite lacing system. Again, Shamma has knocked it out of the park with this, or the elite lacing system 2.0, same fit. This lacing system provides a lot of adjustability. So you have this buckle and the Velcro. So it should be able to fit a lot of foot shapes. For me, I know it fits great. The materials they use definitely feel premium. Their ultra suede is very soft. Even on the super muddy, nasty runs, I don't get any hot spots, any blisters. The stitching is all flush with the suede sections, which is really nice. So that's not rubbing or chafing. The webbing here is also very soft and it's held up great. On my very wet, muddy, nasty run, I did have the mud kind of get caked into this front toe post, and that started to rub a little bit. But if you're running in sandals, it's going to happen. You just got to accept that. On the front toe post here, I will say this is probably my favorite setup of the sandals that I've tried. So Earth Runner Zero shoes and Shamma, that the webbing, how it is bent around the contour around this front toe plug, just works for me. I don't get a lot of bite in between my toes when running in these, which is really nice. It doesn't feel like it's digging in, and it's held up really well. Okay, the Velcro also is held up really great. No issues there. It still works really well. It doesn't feel like it's wearing out despite taking it on and off, like for the power strap here. Moving on, just odds and ends here. So there is a plastic buckle right here that helps with some of the adjustment. Don't feel that at all. If you are feeling it, it means that you've laced these down way too tight. I did that one time and it ate a hole into the top of my foot. I was too lazy to change it. Don't be like me. Make sure you take time to adjust these properly so that you don't get blisters and you can keep running. The instep and outstep posts on the back here are almost flush. I think when they first came to me, they were flush completely, but now that they're worn down a little bit, they stick up just a touch. The front toe post, the toe peg there is flush right now. This plastic is definitely grippy, so it doesn't feel like a slick spot on the sandal when you're going on rocks and things like that. And having these countersunk or almost completely countersunk is really nice. On the regular Warriors, I think I just got used to feeling the instep and outstep post. But if I had to only pick one, I think I prefer not feeling it on these, which is really nice. All right. And that is all there is about these. I thought I'd go into the overall pros and cons of the sandal, and then who is this sandal for? So pros, that the 9mm footbed is definitely protective. You feel a lot of the ground, but not so much that it's uncomfortable. For me, in the rocky sections, one of them's by a road, and I like having the protection so that I can get through that section quickly and maintain my speed. I feel like with these, I still get a lot of ground feel, but I don't have to slow down or be as careful on those nasty rocky bits. So that's great. The Ultra Grip footbed is my favorite because it's the most versatile. However, if you have a chance to look at the leather ones and you're not worried if they're wet, they don't work great. But any other time, the leather is fantastic. It's very soft, so that's a plus. The lacing system, another pro, is that it really locks down your foot. And if you get this power strap, review coming soon, that is another level of security on these sandals, which is great. Con, just the footbed, I would say. So that 9mm, if you're someone that's looking for the minimal feel, this isn't going to be it. Not that I think Shamma is trying to trick you into thinking it is, but they have a regular Warrior that I believe is a 5mm stack height. That would probably be the better one for you if you're going for minimal of minimal. I might say the looks too for cons. This is 100% subjective. I prefer the look of the leather version, and I think it would look a little bit better on the day-to-day as far as just wearing around town and on a trail, whereas I think with the Ultra Grip, these look more like intense hiker, kind of have an intense hiker vibe to them and look good on a trail and running and things like that, but maybe not as good with a pair of khakis or something like that. For that, I'd probably go with the leather. And who are these for? There's a couple people I think would really benefit from the Warrior Maximus. One is someone that is a minimalist. They only want one pair of sandals, and that sandal is going to be with them on all kinds of terrain, super rocky, slick, pavement. They're going to go on hikes. I think I would recommend going with the regular Maximus over the Warriors. I think the little bit of extra protection would go a long way for terrain that you don't know what you're going to expect, and you can be guaranteed that you're going to feel it, but not as intensely as with like a regular Warrior. If you're someone like me that runs a lot in sandals, I wanted a different stack height just to change things up a little bit for my feet. I was noticing that just running with the Warriors and having those thin stack heights, that my feet were getting pretty beat up, and I feel like some of that could have been my running form, but some of it too I think was just only having one type of sandal. And when you think about it, runners, at least from what I've been seeing on YouTube here, they use a lot of different shoes when they're training, so why not do the same thing with sandals and have different lacing patterns and different stack heights for different terrains and things like that. Oh, to go along with that, if you're someone that wants a pair of sandals to do some light river stuff, if you want to, use these as a camp shower shoe, I'd go with the thicker stack height, which is funny because you're still splashing around in the water anyway in a camp shower if you're doing that. But I definitely would prefer these over the regular Warriors. You'd probably be in the water more. Okay. And in conclusion, would I recommend these? Absolutely. I think this stack height is probably now my favorite. I still like the regular Warriors, but just for the type of running I do where I'm on pavement a lot, I think this is the better option. If I only had to pick one, I would, as much as I want to have the smaller stack height, I think this is definitely more useful, and I'll get more wear out of it as it breaks down, and I wear out the tread and things like that. So with that, that'll be the conclusion to this video. Thank you for watching. If you're interested in more reviews, comparisons of barefoot running sandals, please like, comment, subscribe, and let me know down below here in the comments. Have you tried the Shammas? Have you tried the different stack heights? Or is there a certain stack height on a sandal that you prefer or think is best? And to let you know, my plan is to do a review of the Earth Runners, the Circadian with the adventure laces, and then also a review of these power straps that are on the Shammas. And then I have a goal to try and do comparison videos. So the Maximus versus the Earth Runner, or the Shamma with the leather footbed versus the Ultra Grip footbed, and go from there. So thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Be well and happy trails.